The Water Margin, Chapter 23.
And it all starts with maybe the strangest medical cure I've ever read.
It's unbelievable. So we're at the manor of this patron, Chai Jin, and Wusong is there, just laid out with a terrible case of malaria.
Yeah, the text calls it Nuji. He's been sick, just stuck there shivering with fever. He's trying to sleep it off when Song Jiang, who's also a guest, is coming back from washing up.
And it's dark, he doesn't see where he's going, and he steps on a metal fire poker.
A hokin bing. It makes this loud, clanging noise.
And this is the bizarre part. The shock of that sound, it startles Wusong so badly that he breaks out into this huge cold sweat.
A Jingqi Shenlang Han. And the text says, just like that, the fever breaks. The malaria is gone.
It's an incredible detail. It's like the author is telling you from page 1 that normal things, like medicine, they don't work on this guy.
Exactly. Only a violent physical shock can change his physical state. He operates on a different level.
So he's cured, but he's also furious. He jumps up, this huge guy, ready to just punch whoever woke him up.
He's spoiling for a fight, but just as he's about to swing, Chai Jin, the host, runs over.
And he shouts Song Jiang's title, Song Yasi.
And that name, that one title, changes everything. The whole confrontation just dissolves.
Wusong freezes. He doesn't recognize the face, but he knows the name.
He knows the reputation. Song Jiang is Timely Rain, this incredibly famous, generous figure in the outlaw world. The moment he puts it together, Wusong just drops to his knees.
And he gives this incredible apology. He says, I had eyes, but did not recognize Mount Tai.
Which is such a powerful phrase. Yu Yanbui Tai Shan. Mount Tai is, this immense sacred mountain. He's saying, your reputation is so huge, so monumental, that not recognizing you is my failure, not yours.
It's a total act of submission. It immediately sets up the dynamic, doesn't it? Song Jiang's moral authority is actually greater than Wusong's physical power.
Precisely. So now we finally learn who this guy is. He's Wusong, also called Wu Erlang, the second son. And he's been hiding out at this manor for a year.
And the reason he's hiding is, well, it's his temper.
It's his temper and his fists. He got into a drunken argument back home with a local official, a Jimmy.
And his source makes a point of this. He hit him with only one punch.
Just one. And he was so strong, he was sure he'd killed the man, so he fled. That's the kind of casual, deadly force we're dealing with.
So with the misunderstanding cleared up, Song Jiang is actually delighted. He sees this incredible, powerful man and immediately recognizes a kindred spirit.
And the text really leans into it here. It gives us this description of Wusong that's almost mythological.
It's amazing. It says he has an imposing physique, majestic appearance.
And his face is just as intense. Eyes like cold stars, brows like painted lacquer.
My favorite line is that he has a powerful demeanor capable of resisting 10,000 men.
Right. And he's compared to a heaven-descended demon master and an earthly great god. The author is telling you this is not just a strong guy. This is a force of nature.
And Song Jiang sees that immediately. He offers Wusong silver for new clothes, treating him like an equal. But this is where it gets interesting with the host, Chai Jin.
Yes, this is a great look at the different kinds of patronage. Chai Jin steps in and says, no, I'll have my own tailors make new silk outfits for all three of you. It seems generous, but it's not.
It's not, because we learned that Chai Jin had actually grown tired of Wusong. He was treating him slowly, as the text puts it.
And the reason is that same flaw, his temper. When Wusong would get drunk, he'd get angry if the manor staff, the Zhuangke, didn't serve him fast enough.
And he'd hit them.
He'd hit them with his fists.
Yeah.
So all the workers were complaining about him. Chai Jin was just over it. He was tired of the chaos.
So Song Jing's arrival is a game changer for Wusong. He gives him respect, treats him with honor, and it completely restores his dignity.
It does. But Wusong is driven by family loyalty, and he decides he has to leave to find his brother.
And Song Jiang won't just let him go. He insists on walking with him, for 2 or 3 miles to send him off properly.
They stop at a little hotel down the road, and this is where they formalize their bond. Wusong gives Song Jiang 4 bows, the Sibai.
And asks to become his sworn younger brother.
It's a huge moment. This creates one of the most important alliances in the entire novel.
And Song Jiang seals the deal. He offers Wusong 10 taels of silver.
Which Wusong, out of humility, tries to refuse. He feels it's too much.
But Song Jiang plays his hand perfectly. He doesn't just offer it, he insists.
He does more than insist. He basically gives him an ultimatum. He says, if you refuse this silver, then I won't consider you my sworn brother.
Wow. So the gift isn't just a gift, it's a test.
It's absolutely a test. It's forcing Wusong to accept the hierarchy of their new relationship. By taking the silver, he's accepting his Chol as the junior brother who is indebted to his senior. It's brilliant.
And Wusong accepts. He understands. He takes the silver, bows again, and heads off toward Yanggu County, feeling great about his new ally.
So he's walking for a few days, thinking about Timely Rain song Gongming. He gets hungry and thirsty, and he sees a tavern up ahead.
But it's not the tavern itself that catches his eye. It's the sign out front.
It's a banner, and it's basically a public warning. It says, 3 bulls cannot cross the ridge.
Sanwan Bugbo Gang. It's a challenge, really.
It is. So Wusong, who has the strength of 10,000 men, just walks right in. He orders wine and a huge plate of beef.
2 or 3 caddies, which is a couple of pounds. The innkeeper brings him the beef and 3 bowls of wine.
Wusong knocks them back pretty quickly, says the wine has a good kick to it, and immediately tells the innkeeper to pour him some more.
And the innkeeper just says no.
He refuses. He has to explain the sign. He tells Wusong the wine has 2 names. One is Through the Bottle Fragrance.
And the other is Out the Door Collapse. Chu Men Dao.
Not a subtle name.
Not at all.
The innkeeper says, look, it tastes great, but it's so strong that anyone who drinks more than 3 bowls gets hopelessly drunk. They can't make it over the dangerous ridge ahead. It's a public service announcement, really.
But you don't warn Wusong. That's like waving a red flag at a bull. His temper just flares up.
Right away. He accuses the innkeeper of lying, of trying to drug him with knockout drops, Meng Han Yao, to rob him.
He threatens to smash the whole place to pieces if he doesn't get more wine.
He says he'll turn this wretched shop upside down. The poor innkeeper is terrified. He's looking at this giant of a man who seems completely sober. He has no choice.
So he starts pouring. And Wusong keeps ordering. He gets another 2 pounds of beef.
So that's 4 pounds of beef in total.
And the bowls of wine just keep coming. Another 3, then another 3, then a final 6.
Do the math. That's a grand total of 15 bowls.
15 bowls of out-the-door collapse wine. 5 times the dose that guarantees anyone else would be on the floor.
The innkeeper is just staring at him, completely defeated.
And Wusong says this amazing line. He says, if I need you to help me up, I am no hero.
And that's the whole point of the scene, isn't it? The author's proving that the earlier mythological descriptions were not an exaggeration.
Not at all. He defies the local legend, defies basic biology, really. He just stands up, picks up his staff.
Completely sober. And he laughs at the innkeeper, mocks the sign, and just walks out the door.
It's an incredible display. It solidifies his entire character before he even gets to the main event on the ridge. It's the ultimate setup for a hero.
It is. A hero whose hubris is, well, it's as enormous as his physical strength.
So let's unpack that setup. It all starts with the very first line of defense. The tavern owner. This is the first warning, and it's personal. He really emphasizes the sheer body count, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He issues what is basically a dire safety brief.
Yeah.
And he uses the specific, terrifying language to establish the threat. He calls it the hanging-eyed, white-forehead great beast, or Diajing Bai Fu de Shong.
Wow.
And crucially, he tells Wusong it has already claimed 30 or 40 lives. So this isn't, an occasional nuisance. This is a highly successful serial predator.
And the government knows it. That's a key piece of the context here, right? With the sources detail this highly structured, almost bureaucratic response. The proclamation from Yanggu County wasn't just a suggestion.
Not at all. They implemented strict rules, which is fascinating because it shows the state's inability to actually solve the threat.
They could only regulate movement around it.
That's the critical distinction.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't eliminate the tiger. They tried to control the people. The danger was so high, they created an actual travel schedule.
A travel schedule. So if you wanted to cross Jingyang Ridge, you had a tiny window.
A tiny window. You could only cross between roughly 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Any hour before or after that was strictly prohibited. And what's more, they mandated that travelers must form groups. The term is jihug chengdui.
So no solo travelers.
No solo travelers. A single person, like Wusong, was explicitly forbidden. It was essentially a formal mountain lockdown.
Which brings us to Wusong himself, who is, to put it mildly, very drunk. So how does he react to these sensible life-saving rules?
With utter contempt. I mean, complete contempt. He dismisses the advice, calling it nikahua, which translates to bird talk.
Bird talk. So nonsense.
Exactly. Useless chatter. But his reaction, it goes beyond just dismissal. He makes this unbelievable leap of illogic.
He immediately suspects a conspiracy.
He does. He jumps to the conclusion that this is a deliberate trick, a gumza. He genuinely believes the tavern owner made up the whole thing, the 40 deaths, everything, just to trick him into staying the night and spending more money.
He's convinced the owner is trying to plot against my wealth and life.
Yes, Mo Rinkai, Hao Wing Ming. His arrogance is so staggering, it just makes him immune to rational fear.
And that drunken confidence is then immediately tested. He gets 2 more confirmations that the danger is absolutely real. What's the first thing he sees on the road?
Well, he comes upon a large tree. The bark's been scraped off, and there's a written warning on it. But he still manages to rationalize this away. He thinks, oh, the tavern owner just put that up to scare people.
He still thinks it's a scam.
He does. He sees it as just, a local trick.
But then the reality hits him, and it's backed by the full weight of the state.
That's where the narrative really shifts. He stumbles upon a ruined mountain god temple, and right there, plastered to the door, is an official, sealed proclamation. And Yingsan Binyimwen. It has the county seal on it.
And that's the moment.
That's the moment. The official bureaucratic threat becomes undeniable fact. The tiger is real, the county is serious, and he is breaking every single safety rule.
So he sobers up just enough to realize, okay, I'm in trouble. He's walking right into the prohibited time. The sun is already setting. Does he think about turning back?
He does for a moment. But then his pride kicks in, and this is really the key to his character in Water Margin. He reasons that turning back now, after his big drunken speeches to the tavern owner, would mean facing ridicule.
Right, he'd look like a coward.
Exactly. The text says he couldn't return without being called not a good man. He'd rather risk his life than his reputation.
That is a fantastic narrative pivot. His main motivation for walking into a death trap isn't to be a hero and kill the tiger, it's to avoid the social embarrassment of being wrong.
It absolutely is. He is willfully plunging himself into danger at the worst possible time, all to prove a point.
And nature, of course, is waiting for him. So let's talk about the atmosphere right before the fight. It's the 10th month, the days are short, and Wusong is just completely exposed. He's not exactly a coiled spring waiting to strike.
Not at all. He's stumbling. The text says, liang liang kinkian. He's hot, he's drunk, the alcohol is rushing through him. He just needs a break. He finds this large, smooth, blue stone, Guangtata da Kingshi, and decides to lie down right there.
Right on what is essentially the tiger's highway. He's basically advertising his presence. So how does the tiger make its grand entrance?
It doesn't creep up. It announces itself with a sudden, violent burst of wind, a kuangfeng, and the text uses this great classical literary device. Cloud arises from the dragon, wind arises from the tiger. It's this magnificent, almost elemental entry.
The atmosphere just shatters.
Yeah.
And then comes the physical shock.
Exactly. You hear a sound of Puti Yishing singling, a great thump, and the tiger just leaps out. And the effect on Wusong is total instant sobriety. The text says his wine turns to cold sweat.
I mean, that's the ultimate hangover cure, isn't it? Instant life or death clarity. The rest period is definitively over.
Now the fight begins. And what's so fascinating is that the author doesn't just describe random slashing. The text details the tiger's technique with precision. It follows a defined 3-part sequence. It's almost like a martial art for the beast.
Let's drill down on that choreography. How specific does the text actually get about the tiger's fighting style?
Incredibly specific. You have the 3 moves. So move 1 is the pounce yupu. And this isn't a run-up. The tiger launches itself from the air. Kombani kung glung quan jang xiale. It's like an airborne missile.
And Wusong dodges.
He does.
Yeah.
Despite the shock, he dodges, flashing behind the creature.
What's move 2?
Okay, so missing that first strike, the tiger immediately tries to use leverage. Move 2 is the lift or swoop. Yishian. It tries to basically flip him or raise him up using its powerful haunches. Wusong dodges again.
And the finale of this initial attack.
That would be move 3, the sweep, Yujin. The tiger roars a sound like a thunderclap, pili, and it uses its tail, which is described as being like an iron rod, to just sweep him off his feet.
And he dodges a 3rd time.
A 3rd time, yes.
So he's survived the opening salvo. Why is that 3-move sequence so important? Does the text tell us that surviving those 3 means the tide is turning?
It tells us precisely that. Here's the key tactical insight given right there in the text. It says, if the tiger misses these 3 critical opening moves, the pounce, the lift, and the sweep its fighting spirit, its kaching is already cut in half.
Its confidence is shattered.
The predator's primary tool, its confidence, is gone. And that is the moment for the counterattack.
Wusong still has his weapon, the staff, and he swings with everything he has.
He does. But in the frenzy, he misses the tiger completely. He hits a dead tree instead. And the power of the blow is so immense that the staff just splits into two pieces.
It's a spectacular failure. His whole strategy is gone. He's now weaponless against this enraged man-eating tiger.
And this reveals so much. It shows that the true strength of these heroes, it's not in their planned strategy. It's in visceral, brutal improvisation.
The story deliberately takes his weapon away.
It has to force him into this terrifying, elemental, hand-to-hand fight. It becomes a story about brute, unstoppable will.
And the tiger is enraged.
Yeah.
It turns and pounces again.
It does. Wusong reacts with incredible agility, leaping back 10 full steps. The tiger's front paws land right in front of him, just inches away.
The fight shifts instantly to a desperate grapple. He drops the broken staff. What's his immediate move?
He knows he has to control the head. So he lunges, grabs the tiger by the scruff of its neck, the ding hu pi ga da da dizu, and just presses the beast down with every ounce of his strength.
This becomes a struggle of pure, muddy brute force. The description of it is so vivid.
It's horrific. The tiger's thrashing so violently, kicking up so much yellow mud that they basically dig a shallow pit, a klangyang, beneath them. Wusong refuses to loosen his grip, forcing the tiger's roaring mouth down into that mud pit.
So he's using the ground itself as a weapon. He maintains that chokehold with his left hand.
And frees his right. Yes. The fight transitions from wrestling to a raw assault. He frees his right hand, and the text says he unleashes iron hammer-sized fists.
And this isn't just one or two knockout blows. This is a relentless assault.
No, it's a terrifying, sustained beating. He strikes the tiger 50 to 70 times. Wong Kishikwan. He uses all his might. King Shengzili. He just does not stop hitting until the animal is completely motionless.
The description of the trauma is just immediate and brutal.
It is. Blood is bursting from the tiger's eyes, its mouth, its nose, its ears. The creature is utterly destroyed. The body is beaten into a heap. It's no longer a predator. The text calls it a brocade sack. Bokni pidai.
The splendid stripes, the Gangwon-dukyo, are now lifeless, extinguished in the dirt. That imagery, it just sums up the terrible cost of this necessary defiance. A single drunken man has completely annihilated the threat that the government could only regulate. Wusong then used a broken stick, the bangju, to make sure it was absolutely dead. But the sources are so specific about the cost.
Oh, the physical toll is immense. He tries to drag the corpse out of this puddle of blood where it fell, and he can't. He can't even budge it. The sources tell us his hands and feet were so weak and limp. The term is suruan.
Suruan.
Yeah, so weak that he was forced to just rest on a blue stone right there next to the carcass for a long, long time.
He literally cannot capitalize on his victory. He can't move the evidence he's the conqueror, but he's completely depleted. It's a moment of just extreme vulnerability, alone on a dark ridge with a fresh corpse.
And that exhaustion dictates his next move, which is critical. He realizes night is falling.
Yeah.
And even though he just killed the terror of the region, he's actually afraid another one might show up.
Right.
So he grabs his felt hat and he decides he has to leave the body behind. He just slowly drags himself down the ridge, trying to find civilization.
Okay, wait, let's pause on that image for a second. The greatest triumph of his life. And he can't even collect the trophy. He can't stay to guard it. He has to run from the dark, afraid of a potential sequel. That vulnerability, it really grounds the story before all the fame kicks in.
It does. It underscores that this was pure, desperate survival. This was not some planned heroic outing. And that vulnerability makes the next encounter even more dramatic. He hasn't gone far when he meets the first people who live near the ridge. Two figures just pop out at the dry grass.
And these aren't just any travelers. They're local hunters. They look the part, too. Dressed in clothes sewn together from tiger skins, and they're armed for serious business. They have these 5-pronged forks. They see this disheveled, bloody man staggering down the path, and they are not impressed. They are terrified.
They see him as either a miracle or a complete lunatic. Their reaction is the perfect benchmark for the danger he just faced. They ask him if he has, and this is a quote, eaten a leopard's liver, lion's legs, and wrapped his body in courage, just to cross the ridge unarmed at night.
Wow. That's some pretty intense language.
It's an incredible piece of literary hyperbole, but it serves a structural purpose.
And what's that purpose? Is it just poetic flair?
No, it's immediate context. That one question forces the hunters to reveal the true magnitude of the problem. This specific tiger had been an existential threat. It had killed 7 or 8 of their own local hunters.
7 or 8 of them.
Plus countless travelers. It had effectively just shut down the local road.
And these hunters, they were the ones under pressure from the authorities. They confirmed they were setting traps, even using poisoned arrows. And they had suffered actual legal punishments. They'd been flogged by the magistrate for failing to catch the beast.
So this wasn't just, a pest problem. This tiger was a political and economic disaster for the whole county. The magistrate was punishing people because trade and travel routes were completely closed off.
And suddenly this solitary, drunk, exhausted man shows up saying, "Oh yeah, I punched it to death." So naturally the hunters are just completely skeptical. They say, afraid there is no such talk.
The doubt is so intense, and this is where the sources really focus on verification. Wusong has to prove it. He's pointing to the bloodstains all over his body, recounting the entire fight again, blow by blow. But even after hearing the story, they still don't fully believe him. They need collective confirmation.
That's the key, right? They call over the 10 other villagers they were working with. And these villagers, even though they're armed with steel forks, knives, spears, crossbows, they're too scared to go up the ridge to investigate.
The tiger's reputation has such a hold on their collective imagination that seeing one bloody man claiming victory isn't enough. They need to see it. They need physical, incontrovertible evidence. This fear is what elevates Wusong's act from just survival to, a miracle.
So they finally manage to light 5 or 7 torches, and they just nervously follow Wusong back up the ridge. And the skepticism just vanishes the moment they see the great beast dead in a heap. That collective proof is the engine that immediately kicks the whole famed machine into high gear.
That moment, that discovery by torchlight, that's the instant transition from solitary despair to public acknowledgement.
And once the death is confirmed, joy just spreads through that small group, instantly. The villagers send a runner to notify the local headman, the Li Zheng, and the prominent wealthy households, the Shanghu. These are the movers and shakers of the area.
The response is massive, and it's immediate. Quickly, 70 or 80 people gather there in the dark, and they don't just stand around gawking. They organize a formal parade for the hero. But you have to look at the logistics here. They're key to understanding his new status.
Okay, so the tiger's body is carried out front. It's displayed as a trophy. But Wusong isn't walking with the common crowd or even with the hunters. He's carried separately in a cooling sedan chair, a dujiao.
This is a perfect visual metaphor. He is instantly elevated, physically separated from the common crowd, and even from the carcass itself. He gets celebrity transportation only. Think of it as the ancient equivalent of a hero being rushed from the battlefield into an armored motorcade while the evidence follows on a flatbed truck.
That distinction is so important. He's moved from a blood-soaked rock to this state of luxury and honor in just a matter of hours. They take him to the most prominent local household, where the gentry immediately start offering him wine and asking who he is.
And right here, he gives his curriculum vitae. Wusong, second in rank from Qinghai County, returning from a posting in Kangzhou. And he doesn't hide the detail that he was very drunk when it all happened.
Wait, so he was actively promoting the fact that he was drunk? That seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Especially for a hero who's about to enter the bureaucracy.
It actually reinforces the heroism perfectly. It speaks to his innate raw power. I mean, if he can do this while intoxicated, what could he do sober? It just adds to the legend, makes a whole feat even more mythic. And the societal recognition is intense. The locals praise him as a true hero.
And their gratitude is practical. They thank him for 2 very specific public goods, allowing their own people to be safe and allowing travelers to move freely again, which confirms your earlier point. This tiger had completely strangled the regional economy.
Exactly. His act is instantly framed not as mere survival, but as a crucial contribution to the stability and the economic health of the entire region.
So Wusong is so exhausted, he just sleeps through the night, right in the middle of all the celebrations. The next morning, the local gentry formally cement their gratitude. They present him with a roasted sheep, i.e. Yang, and more wine, and they organize the tiger's body on this magnificent official tiger bed, a huchuang, for the trip to the county seat.
And the hero himself is dressed for his introduction to the official world. The gentry drape him in silks and festive red cloth, so he's no longer the disheveled traveler. He is now a public icon, completely ready to be presented to the highest local authority.
Which brings us to the big political pivot point. The procession reaches Yanggu County, and the scene is just total chaos. The sources say people are shoulder to shoulder, literally blocking the streets. It's a riot of adoration. The feign has completely outpaced the travel time.
And the county magistrate, the Zixian, he's waiting for them. The magistrate, as the representative of state authority, has to process this whole celebrity incident. Wusong presents the body, the text calls it an old brocade furred tiger, and the magistrate immediately believes him.
He believes him because of the size of the animal, the crowd's reaction, and Wusong's own imposing demeanor. The magistrate confirms the story and presents the official reward, 1,000 strings of reward money, all collected from the local gentry. And here's where it gets really critical, because this is the moment of virtue that changes Wusong's entire career trajectory.
He refuses the money.
He just states that he only succeeded by luck, and he shouldn't accept such a large reward. But his refusal is brilliantly targeted. He specifically asks that the money be given to the local hunters, the very men who had suffered the magistrate's punishments because of the tiger.
This is a masterful move. It transforms a heroic act into profound political authority. Refusing 1,000 strings of cash instantly buys him something far more valuable than gold. It buys him moral authority and shows compassion for the common people. He links his triumph directly to the community's suffering.
And the magistrate is genuinely stunned by this display. He immediately notes Wusong's loyalty and benevolence, Ronde. He sees a popular hero who is also humble, compassionate, and publicly loyal to the social structure. That is an irresistible combination for a politician.
Exactly. Because of this display of what looks like flawless character, the magistrate decides to elevate him instantly. Even though Wusong is from a nearby county, the distance is negligible. So the magistrate promotes him, on the spot, to the position of foot patrol head constable, the Bundunatu for Younger County.
An instant career change. He went from being a drunken, unemployed traveler looking for his brother to the chief law enforcement officer of the entire county, all because he publicly demonstrated moral restraint.
And significantly, he doesn't refuse the job. He immediately kneels in thanks, accepts the appointment, and he celebrates for 3 to 5 days with the local people and the gentry. The solitary wanderer is now the police chief, fully institutionalized into the state apparatus.
And just like that, we enter the new reality. Wusong reflects on how quickly his life changed. His plan to go home to see his brother in Qinghai County is now completely superseded. He's the famous head constable of Yanggu County, enjoying immediate fame and the respect of his superiors.
This official position is absolutely critical. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this swift institutionalization means the hero is now part of the ruling power structure. He holds the authority of the state, and that new authority is what sets the stage for everything that follows.
And it doesn't take long for the past to collide with the present. Only a few days later, while he's relaxing outside the county gate, someone recognizes him. And they call out, addressing him by his brand new title, Constable Wu.
It's the first time we see him addressed by his official title in a purely personal moment. Wusong turns, recognizes the person instantly, and he exclaims, "Ah, yeah, how are you here?"
And this seemingly simple, warm reunion is immediately forewarned by the narrative itself. The text gives us this final ominous tease. This happy meeting, we are told, will cause corpses lining the ground, blood staining the area, and hot blood flowing when the precious sword waves. The personal task is coming back to challenge the public role he just acquired.